Assalamualaikum Doctor, my name is Anja Anzurin binti Asmadi. Today I want to talk about a supply chain, and the topic that I choose is a supply chain risk and managing supply chain. For introduction, what is supply chain? Supply chain is a network to organization, research and technologies involved in the creation and the sale of a product. This network is between a company and its suppliers to produce and distribute specific products to the end buyer. What is a supply chain risk and managing the supply chain? Supply chain risk is the supply risk referred to the occurrence of a problem along the supply chain, such as a provision of a goods and a service being prevented. This can cause companies to have to stop the manufacturing process because there are problems that cannot be prevented. As we know, Coca-Cola HBC is the one of the big investor in the production of the consumer goods. Coca-Cola buys 96% of all ingredient and production material from suppliers. First Bit is the largest consulting company located in the CIS region. The company conducts a business such as risk analysis and simulation-based optimization solution development. Coca-Cola is wanted to make improvement, but inadvertently complicated in the state of their supply chain. Indirectly, companies have to face a challenge and have to deal with their problems, so the production and service are not indirect. In the content, we have a challenge and solution to managing a supply chain. So, Coca-Cola HBC had the challenge of managing and improving its distribution network in one of the CIS countries. The Coca-Cola company felt that it's facilitated business flexibility and reliability, but found that it's further complicated the regional product flow. Additionally, the increasing complexity in the supply chain has increased transportation costs and the storage costs. In addition, the multi-level nature of the company's supply chain adds a complexity, such as product being shipped to the wholesale customer from the factory through a regional warehouse, making it more complicated than the supply chain. The company delivery network scheme is to optimize the supply chain to reduce costs and ensure that logistics throughout the country run well. HBC and Coca-Cola makes the current supply chain model, but it needs to be considered because a different network can have a warehouse inventory. In the early stage of the project, the consultant examined data on the supply chain performance and come up with the model concept. But this procedure has developed a risk. In the second phase, their team created a model prototype and a test on the limited data to estimate the scaling risk of different models and operational validity. In this phase, the model development team has addressed the business challenge of a production strategy. They want to get a measure on how the production side challenge and performance will affect operation, then gain the ability to maximize their supply chain and demand. So, from the supply-based option to address this challenge is a consultancy optimize the flow of different chains product, considering the product transportation capacity, comparison of the different supplies such as storage in the warehouse of the production site. They also tested the warehouse network to prove the effectiveness of the trial results. They compared the cost of current warehouse topology and then the update variant was preferred. Finally, the way is to plan a long-distance delivery strategy. Previously, use the retailer supply directly, but consider for the supply of products through the federation. Consultant use the model to save a cost by changing the maintenance strategy of a new retailer. New research in this topic. In 2020, the whole world was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. This has caused by a supply chain disruption on two factories around the world. Most of the factories that have just returned to production, but the ongoing pandemic posed a challenge for them. For example, e-commerce like Amazon, because people have to buy goods online instead of buying internationally. People are not allowed to leave their home to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. E-commerce company also had a supply chain problem due to the pandemic. Transportation and delivery from air, water, and the land had to be temporarily delayed, especially the delivery of the goods from China, which is the largest factory in the world. With this, they need to solve the problem because the demand is getting higher and more customer. In conclusion, Coca-Cola HPC has a decision support system that can test a many strategy in just a few hours. User will own the new supply chain that can minimize the load. Supply chain cleaners can now select the most profitable point and continue to calculate the expense of each other. Supply chain risk is always there for all the company because it requires continuous improvement because the world is constantly changing to provide the world's women, intelligence and the technology.